From Robin Roberts Field in Lanphier Park in Springfield, Sports Channel and the IHSA presents the 14th Annual Boys Class A Baseball Championship. Today's game pits the Bulldogs of Harrisburg against the Crusaders of Belleville, Althoff. Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Passion, along with Bill Zeman, whose Roanoke Benson team was here 3 times in the 80s, knows what a coach has to do to keep his team here, and much less get them. How much does a coach make a difference in the tournament, Bill?
Well, getting to the tournament, he makes a big difference. But right now, his job is to keep their emotions in check, get them psychologically ready to believe in themselves, and get to the task of winning a championship.
Harrisburg was the 1989 AA state champions. They know how to get here. Let's find out how they got here this year. They started out in the regionals with victories in their first 3 regional games and then came through the sectionals with wins over Messer County and West Frankfort, and then knocked off Lewistown here in the quarterfinals and then Driscoll in today's earlier semifinal game. The road to the championship for the Crusaders started off in their regional with 3 regional victories, first over East Lutheran and then Dupo and Waterloo, then on to Wesleyan and Waltonville for sectional victories, and then defeating Normal University High School here in the quarterfinals and knocking off Effingham St. Anthony in a slugfest here in the semifinals. We talked to the coaches about momentum. Does it really make a difference?
Oh, definitely. I think that you have to get out of the box as early as you possibly can. And, you know, the momentum changes throughout a game. A strikeout can stop it. A single at the right time can bring it to you.
And that's what we talked about with both coaches about today's game, where the momentum lies.
Well, we think it's very important for us to jump out early in tonight's ball game. Kids have a tendency to press a little bit in a championship game. I've seen some quality clubs not play as well in the championship game as they have in the semifinal, quarterfinal games. So if we could jump out early, I think it would help our kids relax and maybe cause them to settle down, play the way we can play.
Well, I think the momentum here tonight is going to be very important. The team that jumps out in the lead certainly is going to have that right away, and that emotion can carry you through a few innings. But at the same time, you play ball game, there's 7 innings of good, hard battle. And I think St. Anthony's Effingham showed that today. Just when everybody was going to count them out of the ball game, they battled back and certainly had every opportunity to win the game. So the old cliche of baseball, it's not over until it's over. And you got 21 outs to work with.
The coaches get them here, but it's the players who hit and throw. And for Harrisburg, they've got 2 big hitters to scrap them out here.
2 big hitters for Harrisburg have been John Cannon and Chris Haley. Both have been doing very well throughout the playoff series, and right now you'd have to say that they're the hot bats.
And for Althoff, of course, Harrisburg also with Chris Healy, and he has been a big hitter for them also.
Yes, he has. He's hitting about .420 with 31 RBIs at this time and doing a real fine job for coach.
Belleville Althoff also has had 2 big hitters, and they've done it not only in the outfield at the plate, but also on the pitcher's mound. First off, for Belleville Althoff, they have a 5th-round draft choice of this past week of the St. Louis Cardinals, and he is Daron Stovall, and he has been a tremendous player for them, has also been a reliever coming out of the outfield and closing games for them on the mound, but as you can see by his numbers, he can't hit the baseball. And Rick Sauget, he has been tremendous at the plate. Those are the numbers he's put at the plate, but he's also been a big hero for them on the hill. And so, big heroes for both teams, and the pitchers, first off for Harrisburg, they've got a little change.
Yes, they went with an 8-0 pitcher, Chris Lucas, a right-hander, pitching very well. He told coach he wanted the ball, so we got it.
Okay, he has put up some good numbers this year, and for Belleville Althoff, they will go with Jimmy Stiebel. He is 8-2 on the year, and he will be the guy from a right-hander to try and bring him home. And we'll be back with the starting lineups and today's first pitch of the Illinois High School Association Boys Class A Baseball Championships from Springfield coming up right after this timeout. As we get ready for the first pitch of this Class A Baseball Championship between the Harrisburg Bulldogs, 30-5 coming in. They are the 1989 Class AA state champions, and here how they started out in Class A this year. Junior John Davis, the second baseman, will lead it off, followed by Healy and Lucas. Banks, Cannon, and Ryder will be in the middle, and Franz, King, and Banks will close out the bottom 3 of the order for the Bulldogs. Defensively speaking, for the Belleville Althoff Crusaders, from left to right, it'll be Schrand, Stovall, and out in right field, Merriman. From third to first, Conrick, Riley, Shainlin, and the first baseman is Sojay. The pitcher is Jim Stiebel. Tim Mayett will be behind the plate, and Stiebel this year 8-2 on the year. He's a junior right-hander with an ERA of 3.16. And the first batter he faces is John Davis. In the dirt on that first pitch, and Bill Zeman, we talked about how momentum's going to come, and it usually starts on the mound.
Yes, your pitcher has to be ready from the very first pitch on. He can't get behind the hitters. He has to work from out front. Walks hurt.
The kick and the delivery on the 1-0 pitch, and it's on the inside corner of the plate. A medium-sized crowd, but showing a standing room only level of enthusiasm. Here's a chopper off the handle of the second baseman, and he handles it over into the dirt. A good scoop by the first baseman, Sojay, on the throw from Reiling. And the first hitter, John Davis, grounds out as Reiling calls one out to his outfield. One away in the top of the first. That'll bring Chris Healy to the plate. Chris, their outstanding all-area shortstop, who Bill Zeman talked about before the game. This kid has done a lot for him, and his average and RBI total tell you a lot right there.
Yes, he's hitting the ball really well. His batting average is over 400. Hitting very well 4 out of 6 in the series here at Lanphier.
And he hits one right up the middle. It will fall in for a base hit. Chris Healy is jammed inside, but he gets the handle enough on that aluminum bat to punch it up the middle for the first base hit of the game. So for pitcher Jimmy Stiebel, he has been throwing hard and inside on the hitters and will now face the number 3 hitter in the Bulldog order, Chris Lucas. He'll also be seeing Lucas when they trade positions. Lucas will be on the mound today for Harrisburg when they're out on the field in the bottom half. Strike on the inside corner of the plate. Bill Lemonier, the home plate umpire today. We'll get to all the umpires for you in just a few moments. The sun beginning to settle down in the western skies behind us here in Springfield. Curveball just misses inside. Lucas, who has shown as a line drive hitter this year, he can go the other way, and with the first baseman covering the runner at first, he's got a lot of room. There goes the runner. Comebacker to the mound. Stiebel cannot handle it. Recovers, but not in time. It goes into the outfield. The runner advances to third. And an error on the pitcher, Jimmy Stiebel, throwing the ball away from the outreach of the first baseman, Rick Sojay, and Stiebel is getting loosened up in a hurry here in the first.
As you can see here, Stiebel looked over towards the runner, picked up the ball, lost sight of it, dropped it, made an errant throw, got the runner all the way to third base.
Now, Bill, you see your star pitcher out there in the championship game, and for a moment it looked like Healy was going to score, but he was held up. And all of a sudden, here's a guy who's been one of your studs this year. The coach for Althoff, Al Fope, did not come out. He didn't talk to him.
No, he said he's been getting in here. Sometimes you make him more nervous by going out to the mound. It's early in the ball game.
Little chopper foul inside the bag off the bat of Josh Banks, the junior left fielder.
Oftentimes, this early in the ball game, you don't want to waste a trip out to the mound. He's an experienced player. Give him a chance to work his way out of it, maybe build up that confidence.
You see the runners at third and first, Healy at third, Lucas at second, and the wide open dimensions of Robin Roberts Field here at Lanphier Park in Springfield, home of the Midwest League, Class A Springfield Redbirds, Class A affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. Lee Landers, the general manager here for many years, out here at the ballpark today. He says he loves high school baseball. Little chopper again foul, and the third baseman, Gombrich, again gets to it, but it's merely a hit strike. 0-2 to count with 1 out. First base is open. Jimmy Stiebel on the mound, and Josh Banks, junior left-hander, good numbers, and for a kid his size has shown power with 3 HRs. Way outside, ball gets away. The runner will score, and it's 1-0 Harrisburg. Healy scores from third, and Harrisburg is on the board with an unearned run. Lucas advances to third in the left of your screen, and now Jimmy Stiebel getting some confidence from his players, coming over to talk with them. And when one gets away from Stiebel with the runner at third, Coach Jay Thompson, the head coach for the Harrisburg Bulldogs, did not hesitate sending that runner. So Banks now with a 1-2 count, and swings and misses at strike 3. 2 away. Top of the first, 1-0 Harrisburg.
That was an interesting play where they scored there. I don't know if the catcher was fooled on the pitch, but we'd have to credit it with a pass ball.
So the batter now will be John Cannon, the first baseman. Cannon with 4 homers this year and 25 RBIs has been a cannon, not only at the plate, but on the mound this year. Cannon has been their #1 pitcher this year, 10-1 on the mound. In fact, he's already got a victory under his belt here in the tournament finals in Springfield. Up high. Count goes 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. We're in the top of the first of the Illinois High School Association Boys Class A Baseball Championship. There's our early numbers. And a shot back to the mound. Stiebel cannot get a handle on it. A run will score. It's 2-0 Bulldogs. Lucas scores from third base. And over at first is a happy John Cannon. The second error of the inning on the pitcher. And I know maybe some may think it's a tough error to give him, but he had a glove on it and his shoulders square to the plate.
He's right back at him, had a chance to field the ball, hit the glove, just didn't make the play.
Second unearned run against Jimmy Stiebel. If you're wondering why the screen is bouncing, that's the fans in the stands reverberating the aluminum stands at Robin Roberts Field, and I'm sure putting our right field line cameraman, who will need some Excedrin when this is all over. But they've got something to cheer about here. The Harrisburg crowd in the first baseline dugout as the visiting team is Shannon Ryder, the center fielder, steps in and looks at a curveball that drops right over the inside corner of the black.
Nice pitch there. Worked on the inside of the hitter.
Is Stiebel's motion just not there? Is that what you're seeing, Bill Zeman?
Well, right now, I think everything's coming up a little too high. Once he settles down and keeps the ball low, I think it will definitely be his advantage.
It showed there for a moment, but in the inning, the Bulldogs get 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, and leave a runner. We go to the bottom of the first with Harrisburg leading by 2. Belleville is coming up. We go to the bottom of the first. Harrisburg with 2 unearned runs in the top half of the inning to open this ball game. And now we'll see the Crusaders coming up to the plate. Their lineup will look this way. Timmy Sandlin, the shortstop, will lead it off. He'll be followed by the left fielder, Mark Schran. Daron Stovall, the Cardinals' 5th-round draft choice, is batting third. The middle of the order is Gomrick Soje in Riling. And then the DH, Chris Gula, for catcher Tim Matt. And Jim Stiebel will bat for himself. Brian Merriman will bring up the rear of the order. the defense of the Harrisburg Bulldogs from left to right. It'll be Josh Banks, Shannon Ryder, and Brandon France. And the infield from third to first will be Brent King, Chris Healy, John Davis, and John Cannon. The catcher is Brian Banks, and the pitcher today is right-handed junior Chris Lucas. Lucas has been a big stud for him, and as we mentioned on the pregame show, a kid that, like Stiebel, wanted the ball in the big game, and he will face Timmy Sandlin as his first opponent. Just a bit low, and it's a ball, 1-1.
Belleville has a pretty nice hitting lineup, so a 2-run deficit isn't something that they can't overcome. The momentum may appear to shift the direction of Harrisburg, but again, they have 7 at-bats left.
Well, it's interesting that the coaches prior to the game talking about there are 21 outs to the game, and how Harrisburg head coach Jay Thompson talked about jumping out early. I'm sure he didn't expect to do it in the manner it came about, but nonetheless, they got the 2 runs and a called strike 3 against Tim Sandlin.
You can bet he's happy about it, because he certainly got the team going the right direction early in the ball game.
That'll bring up the left fielder, Mark Schrand. Schrand has been a line drive hitter all year and has put up some very positive numbers with 3 homers, 33 RBIs, and that over 400 batting averages. He belts one out of play into the sunset. One of the characteristics that Schrand has also shown all year long, Bill, very aggressive at the plate. Smart player, but he'll go after that first pitch. He wants to make something happen. We saw him try and make something happen on that first pitch.
Both teams here are aggressive hitters. They don't look for the walk.
There's a called strike fastball.
When you get 2 teams like that playing in a game like championship game like this of this caliber, could be a big offensive night.
The 0-2 delivery. And a shot down the right field line. That'll go fair. And turning around and going for 2 will be Mark Schrand with a stand-up double. Mark Schrand had all of that, and he hooked it hard to second base.
As you can see, the pitch was a little high. He got his hands out in front of it, got the barrel out in front of the plate, hit the ball early right down the line. Right fielder did a pretty nice job getting to it and knocking it down, getting the ball in.
Brandon France was the man getting the ball in to the shortstop Healy. And now here's Daron Stovall. Stovall has done it all this year for Belleville Althoff. At the plate by those numbers. He has done it on the mound as a relief pitcher. But maybe most impressively has been his defensive play. He runs like a gazelle out in center field. So much so that the St. Louis Cardinals drafted Stovall in the 5th round of this past week's June amateur draft. Stovall has already committed and signed a letter of intent to go to the University of Arkansas. In fact, I talked to his mother, who was very kind and very proud of her son in the hotel lobby prior to the game. And she says, we really haven't talked to the scouts. They're going to wait until the tournament's over and then see what the Cardinals have to say before making a determination, as the runner is back in time over at second base in Mark Schrand. Boy, what a lift that's got to be for the kid. He's playing in the state championship game. He's already got a dorm room in Arkansas and an offer from the St. Louis Cardinals. He goes the other way and he goes deep, but out of play. That ball was beyond the left field bullpen, folks.
Yeah, you can say he's had a couple good days here. He said last night he got a phone call at the motel telling him about his drafting.
Stovall was 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs. And the victory over St. Anthony, 10-9. in the dirt. Ball gets away. There goes the runner to third. It throws high up the line, and he's in.
Wild pitch.
Come on, Stowe, put her into play.
Wild pitch in the dirt here. Puts the runner. As you can see, the ball drops in front of the catcher. He does a nice job blocking the ball and keeping it somewhat in front of him, but due to the velocity, ball bounced away.
The full count delivery. Misses outside for ball 4. Now with the runner over at third base, we'd like to tell our viewing audience we're very proud to be bringing you something you may not see in many baseball telecasts. The head coaches are wearing Sports Channel wireless microphones. And maybe we can get a chance with this runner aboard and runners on the corner to peek in to the third base coach, the head coach of Belleville, Althoff, Al Fope, as we look at Matt Gomrich, the cleanup hitter for the Crusaders.
Matt's been a big RBI man for his team. He has 28 RBIs, hitting .337. They have to feel pretty confident with him up to bat.
And a balk has been called. The run will score, and it's a one-run ball game. 2-1. First run of the game in for Althoff. The ball called on Chris Lucas. Scoring from third is Schrand. Moving over to second is Daron Stovall.
Lucas feigned to throw to first base and never did make the throw, and of course that constituted the balk.
An 0-1 count to third baseman Matt Gomrich. Comebacker over the mound. The second, in front of the second base is the shortstop. Healy with the throw, moving Stovall over to third, and 2 away in the bottom of the first. So Gomrich moves the runner along, but grounds out in his attempt to push the ball up the middle.
Good base running by Stovall. Saw the ball behind him, took the base.
That'll bring up the number 5 hitter in the Crusader order, Rick Soje. The first baseman, Soje, has been Mr. Everything. He's been a streak hitter all year long, but turned up the flames coming into the playoffs and has been hot throughout, not only on the mound, but also as a pitcher. So Jay is 8-1 as a pitcher. Ball gets away momentarily, but the catcher, Brian Banks, quickly recovers. Soje's been 8-1 as a pitcher in 9 games this year. Has an ERA at 2.5, but as a hitter, well, you saw his numbers. But this guy has been doing it all, and he's got power. Right up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher. Shortstop handles the long throw, and it gets the runner at first. Big play by the Harrisburg shortstop, Chris Healy, in the bottom of the first. The Crusaders get a run on a double. No errors and a man left on. We go to the top of the second. Harrisburg leads by 1. We go to the top of the second inning, 2-1 in favor of the Harrisburg Bulldogs, who are attempting to become the first team in Illinois state history to ever win 2 state championships of different classes. They won the AA crown in 1989 behind Jay Thompson and are now here to try and capture the Class A crown. Leading off, the number 7 hitter in the order, Brandon France, the right fielder. France has been a steady hitter this year, and he was originally penciled in to start this game on the mound. And he goes the other way down the third base line. A great stop by Gomrich. The long throw that gets the runner.
Excellent play by the third baseman.
Matt Gomrich, the third baseman, went down hard, and that's how you see him in the bigs. Would not let that ball get down the line.
You see the hitter went the opposite way with the pitch. A nice move by third baseman, a Brooks Robinson type play, knocks the ball down, comes up with a strong throw across the infield. Excellent high school play.
That'll bring Brett King, the opposing third baseman. King is just a junior. has been solid for them, and he does a lot of the little things and has played spectacular defensively as he puts one in the screen behind him. That's one of the things Jay Thompson really likes about this kid. Got a good eye at the plate, and although his under 300 average may not seem impressive, he has come up with some very big clutch hits this year. And I guess if you're going to get the hits, they may as well come at a good time, and he has been able to come through this year for the state finalist from Harrisburg.
A lot of times that's all you can ask from the, you know, the junior type player. Come in, fill a gap.
And he hits it hard to the third baseman, and Gomrick again. But this time it's high. A good stab, but not in time. He is safe. A great slide, and that shows you why Brent King has such an outstanding on-base percentage. He finds a way to get on. Solje, the first baseman, and he'll make a great stab at it, but just comes up short.
That was a big league effort by the first baseman. You can see the throw came high. He was thinking ahead of time, came down for the tag, couldn't quite get there. Good heads-up play.
Solje, the first baseman on your right, big tall kid, had to come down a long way to get underneath to get King, who's on the air by the third baseman. And Brian Banks, the number 9 hitter in the Bulldog order, steps in and looks at a ball low and inside.
Looks like Stiebel is kind of settling down here the second inning, Joe. Keeping the ball down a little bit better, has a little better composure.
Up a little bit high. Brian is the older cousin of the left fielder for Harrisburg, Josh Banks. Their fathers are brothers. Brian has been the real leader on this team this year. He has also hit with power, but he's one of the kids who played on the '89 Class AA state championship. Although he was a part-time player as a sophomore that year, he knows the feeling of what it's like to be in the state championship game right here in Springfield. In the dirt, ball gets away. The catcher loses it, and the runner will advance to second. Brent King, playing heads-up baseball, gets over to second base on the wild pitch.
There again, another nice block by Myatt. Catcher, keep the ball in front.
Myatt did a nice job of keeping the ball in front, but he just lost it around his ankles.
Tough pitch to stop.
The 3-1 delivery. In the dirt again. Myatt has to stop that one, and the ball 4 base on balls to Brian Banks.
Must have gave the kiss of death to Stiebel. They turned around and said everything was going good. He had 2 ground balls.
That'll bring Coach Althoff out to the mound, and maybe we can turn that mic on and listen in.
You know, relax out here and do what you're capable of doing. Now you're trying to do something that you can do, and you're pushing every ball, putting it here, and you're pushing it out, just like that, rather than just rearing back and throwing the baseball. You know, you got to just relax and do what you're capable of doing here. Come on now. Timmy. Add a little more.
And I always thought you coaches talked about where you were going to eat after the game.
Well, that's sometimes what happens. See where all the hot spots are, because the kids generally know.
Althoff just going out as a confidence booster out there. And really, what else can you tell him?
Right now, you're just trying to let him get back in his game. I think he got the first hitter to ground to third, second one to ground to third, and then the error. As you see, the error came and then a walk. So he just lost his composure again.
Well, here's John Davis, who grounded out to the second baseman his first time up. But he's been productive as the leadoff man in the Harrisburg order and has runners at first and second with 1 out in the top of the second. He squares the bunt. Ball gets away, but it is a foul ball. The runners were going.
Coach Thompson said that he's not afraid to bunt and move people around and try to generate some offense if he has to. So that's what got him here, so don't be surprised to see that type of baseball. Good fundamentals.
Davis, who has lots of speed, has also shown great contact at the plate. And that's why he is the leadoff hitter. The 0-1 delivery, and again he wanted to go for the bunt, went way outside for a high outside pitch, and Jay Thompson in the third base coach's box, the head coach in his 10th year. There's Jay. Jay also with a wireless microphone on. We'll tune into him later on today. He could make history today. The 0-2 count with runners at first and second. Are they going, Coach?
Would have been a gutty call with 2 strikes this early in the ball game.
A curveball by Stiebel just missing on the outside corner of the plate.
John Davis, pretty good contact hitter. I would imagine that's what they're expecting out of him.
He went after a high fastball for the second out of the inning. So Stiebel talking over with his catcher, Tim Myatt. And I'm sure that was a big strikeout for Jimmy Stiebel.
Definitely.
There's nothing else for his confidence.
That's right. That was a time when he needed it. After an error and then a walk and then to come back with a strikeout, now he can take a deep breath and get the bat.
That'll bring Chris Healy back up. Healy started that free-for-all back at the top of the first when he singled sharply and then reached second on an error. Went to third on the error that Lucas was at the plate for. And then scored on a wild pitch. So Healy has seen all the bases and home plate tonight. Top of the second, 2-1 Harrisburg, and they've got 2 runners aboard with 2 outs here. You know, we talked about Jay Thompson. What a great story he is. He could become an even greater story before this game is over, should Harrisburg win.
He's an excellent young coach. He's put in a lot of good numbers in a short period of time over at Harrisburg.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Thompson is very superstitious. In fact, Jay Thompson buys 5 packs of baseball cards before every game. He's an avid collector. He tells me he's got over 250,000 baseball cards, and that's in his adulthood. And that shirt he's got on, that turtleneck, wears it every game. Doesn't matter whether it's 100 degrees outside. He gets a lot of ribbing about that. With runners at first and second, 2 outs in the top of the second, the 1-2 delivery to Healy. Goes after an outside pitch. It's dropped. The catcher will throw him out at first, and they just do barely. But that does end the inning. 2 strikeouts for pitcher Jimmy Stiebel. In the top of the second, no runs, no hits, an error, and 2 men left aboard. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Bulldogs are still leading by 1. We go to the bottom half of the second inning from Robin Roberts Field here in Lanphier Park in Springfield. The Bulldogs leading the Crusaders by 1. Joe Passion along with Bill Zeman, the Roanoke Benson head baseball coach and athletic director for many years. And here's Tim Riley in his first at-bat of the game. The second baseman for the Crusaders looks at a called ball 1 in the inside corner of the plate. You know, one of the things I'm always admiring about high school teams that get to the state finals, how many kids on those teams, boys or girls, play other sports. And Riley hits a solid shot in the left field for the second base hit of the game for the Crusaders, and Timmy Riley on first with a single here in the top, make that the bottom of the second.
Well, in a lot of cases, in comment to your remark, at smaller schools, you oftentimes have 3 sport athletes. They may be football, basketball, baseball. It's not uncommon for them to have athletes that play year-round.
That'll bring to the plate Chris Gula, the designated hitter. Gula, a powerful left-hand hitting kid. Looks at a strike just at the knees, 0-1, and he looks down the line for some instructions. He's come up with some big hits already here in the state finals. 2 RBIs helped lead them to one of the victories here, 10-9 over St. Anthony. Runner at first, no outs, a swing and a miss, a good cut, but no contact.
Chris Lucas is throwing the ball very well right now, keeping it down the bottom half of the strike zone. And that's what's going to be necessary for him to get the win.
The 0-2 count, runner back in time over at first base. You know, we'll look at the pitcher here, Chris Lucas. Very smart, has a good look at first and delivers. Outside for a ball. I think he had too good of a look at first.
I think he lost the handle on that one. Catcher did a nice job of getting out there. Saved an extra base.
Lucas very aware of the runner over at first base, Tim Riley. The 1-2 delivery and a shot hit down the line and right. That will be fair for extra bases. Rounding second and going hard to third is Riley, and they're waving him in. Now the stop sign comes up and Riley stops back to third base. A great call by the third base coach, Althoff. He was sending him home, and a double by Chris Gula puts runners at second and third. Nobody out in the second.
Gula got all this one. A high outside pitch, got his arms extended, pulled it down the line. Althoff did a nice job probably of keeping his runners at second and third here instead of having somebody thrown out at the plate with nobody out. That's good judgment call.
That's what you call front wheel brakes that Riley put on in a hurry. Here's Jim Stiebel, the pitcher, inside from his opposing pitcher, Lucas.
You were talking momentum earlier. Here would be a good chance for the momentum to shift a little bit to Belleville. First 2 batters on, bottom of the lineup. Base hit here would give him the lead.
Stiebel, a junior out of Blessed Sacrament Junior High. One of the many multi-sport athletes on this team. Football and basketball player. He's only 6'4 and a half, 245 pounds. And he hits one high out of play to the right side. When Stiebel walked by Bill and I down on the field as he was going to take his warm-up tosses before the game, I thought he was a coach.
He's a big boy. No doubt about it. He's a man.
He shaved twice today already.
Is that right? I only once. What about you?
Just once for me. And there's a called strike by home plate umpire Bill LeMonnier.
Early in the inning, Lucas was keeping the ball down low, but right now everything's coming up a little bit and creeping up a little higher.
The 2-2 delivery out and high, ball 3. Runners in scoring position. First is open. We're in the bottom of the second. 2-1 Harrisburg, who are out in the field. Belleville, Althoff, trying to turn that momentum we talked about around in their favor right here. Called strike 3. I don't know that a fastball gets any prettier. First out of the bottom of the second. That'll bring up Brian Merriman. Lucas really put it right there, and I think he snuck that fastball, and it seemed to freeze the hitter.
Looked like he was expecting to see something else.
So here's Merriman, the right fielder, and he hits one to the ground. That should tie the ball game, and it does. The out at first, but the ground out scores a run, and that brings a smile to Merriman's face. He's a merry man right now. He's tied the ball game at 2 here in the second. Riley scoring from third. Gula moves to third. And we're back even. Leadoff hitter Tim Sandlin steps in. One 1-0 the count. The flag blowing in from deep right center here today. Very cool evening. Beautiful, beautiful sit-down weather for baseball. It's got to be 70 degrees with the breeze.
Beautiful night.
There's the flag in center field, out beyond the beautiful landscape in center field, which is 415 feet deep. The alleys, 375. Left and right, 350. And down the lines, 320. You can see the beautiful landscaping of this ballpark here. Great camera work from upstairs. A 2-0 count. Up high, ball 3. And all of a sudden, the Harrisburg pitcher, Chris Lucas, is behind the hitter, Tim Sandlin. So runners are now back on the corners as Sandlin, a senior out of St. Augustine, over at first, and the pitcher, Chris Lucas, trying to end this inning. 1 run's already in as we are tied at 2.
Mark Schran hit the ball very hard last time up. He put the double down the right field line.
Schran was an all-area outfield and an MVP of the 4th of July Legion team. They call Schran Sly Fox. His coach calls him a gamer. Maybe one leads to the other. And he goes the other way and almost knocks his coach out of the box. Count will go 1-1.
Not on the last pitch. Sandlin stole second, uncontested.
First base open with 2 away, and the count 1-1 to Mark Schran.
Roll 'em! Roll 'em! Turn on it! Roll forward!
Up high, ball 2, strike 1. Schran, who had that solidly hit double down the right field line his first time up, he hits it that way at all as a safety, and he's got 2 fellows in because he would be hitting behind the runners. Schran backs off from home plate for just a moment. He's an honors student in trigonometry. Also played basketball, enjoys accounting and business administration. Sounds like an agent or a lawyer. Up high for ball 2. Make that ball 3. In fact, that's one thing about Belleville Althoff. Very high academic standards. I was asking their coach, Althoff, about famous alumni. He says, I don't know how famous they are. Most of them are doctors or lawyers. Sounds like Schran's heading in that direction. And he looks very smart here as he looks at a ball 4. And the bases are loaded in the bottom of the 2nd.
Lucas is having some mechanical problems right now.
That'll bring Jay Thompson out of the dugout and out to the mound. And here's an opportunity to use our Sports Channel wireless microphone on Jay Thompson. And let's tune in and see what he has to say in his powwow.
Okay, you're down too much. That's what's causing your breaking ball to stay up. I don't know what to tell you, except that, that's causing your arm problems. And if you could get this guy to hit a little pop fly, that'd be nice for our ball club, all right? And let's relax a little bit. Make a play here. It's 2-2. I mean, everybody acts like it's about the bottom of the 6th here.
If I tell you to back up throw, the escape plays on, I'll call it myself. All right.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, yeah. Be ready for that because we may try to get him back there.
Thompson, that's your first conference at 2-3.
Thank you.
Coach Thompson coming out to try to relax his pitcher. Mechanically, he's just struggling a little bit right now, trying to force things through.
So Chris Lucas, now with the bases loaded and 2 outs, will face one of the most dangerous hitters out of the St. Louis area. Ball gets away, lead run will score head first. Chris Gula gets down and dirty and has given the lead here on the wild pitch. 3-2, Belleville Althoff. The other two runners advance from first and second to second and third as we see this get away from Lucas.
You can see the ball go outside. Catcher didn't shift out, just stuck the glove out there, and that's one of the things as a coach you try to instruct your catchers to do. Get out, shift out, and go to the ball instead of sticking the glove out only.
Daron Stovall out of St. Philip Junior High School.
I'll try that play.
Three-sport athlete. Althoff coming from behind as they trail 2-0 after the top of the first, now leading by 1. And it's outside for ball 3. 3-0 to Stovall, a three-sport athlete, football, basketball, and of course, tremendous baseball player. In fact, he was an all-state football player, honorable mention all-state basketball, and all-area baseball. He could have called his ticket. He could have written it. Right now, the ticket that he has been writing is spelled B-A-S-E-B-A-L-L. Loves baseball. Comes back here into the stands, so the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at second and third. 3-2 in this lengthy bottom of the second. Lucas on the hill trying to get this over with. Both pitchers have struggled here. They've looked good or they've looked bad. There hasn't been a lot of mediocrity. And this is outside for ball 4. The third walk in a row by Chris Lucas. Loads the bases up here. 2 runs have already scored here this inning. And that'll bring up Matt Gomerick. 4 walks already. You've seen the 2 strikeouts. 3 of those walks have come in this inning.
It's very important that early in the ball game here, Harrisburg stays out of a big inning. And one sure way of getting the big inning is many walks.
Here's Matt Gomerick. Ball is hit. The batter was hit. Another run will score. Gomerick was hit on his lower left hand, and scoring from third base is Tim Sandlin, and it's 4-2 Belleville Althoff, and that will be all for Chris Lucas. Coming in from right field will be Brandon France, and Lucas will, in all likelihood, find himself out in right field, exchanging places with France. We'll see how Coach Jay Thompson handles the change here.
You did fine. You did fine. Did the best you could. Let's go. Come on, Brandon. Hey. Come on. That's right. Come on. Position changes. Okay, position changes. 9 goes to 1. 1 goes to 3. 3 goes to 9. Okay.
So you heard the changes, and Brandon France, who had originally been slated to pitch, Coach Thompson made the decision to bring Lucas in, and France will come in and warm up. We'll tell you more about Brandon and the defensive changes when we come back. Our score 4-2 in favor of the home team. The new pitcher for the Harrisburg Bulldogs is Brandon France. 7-2 in the year, an ERA of 2.95 in 11 games thus far this year. In 55 innings pitched, he has given up 47 hits, 18 earned runs, 10 base on balls, has struck out 32 in those 55 innings pitched. And we'll have a chance here to try and bring this inning under control. The first batter he will face will be the dangerous Rick Soje. Soje bounced back on a comebacker to the mound off the pitcher's glove, and the shortstop made the put out at first to end the first inning. Bases are loaded. 3 are in the bottom of the second. 4-2 in favor of Althoff. And he goes the other way off the handle, and it goes foul.
France is doing exactly what he has to do. Come in and get ahead of the hitters and use that sneaky stuff that he has. Coach Thompson said he isn't really a power pitcher, but he will be sneaky fast after using the changeup and the curve.
The changes have second baseman John Davis moving out to right field. The pitcher Chris Lucas moves to second base, or check that, to first base. And the right fielder Brandon France, of course, on the mound now. And again, Sauger goes into the parking lot with that foul ball and goes 0-2. 2 outs. The bases are loaded. Sauger, a senior out of Queen of Peace Junior High School, another basketball and football, baseball standout. They call him the Stork. He's big enough, and he comes back into the fence. Sauger at 6'6", 215 pounds. He will play college football and baseball at the University of Notre Dame.
That's a pretty impressive player.
Curveball misses inside.
That was a good pitch by France. Came inside to a power hitter. If he hit it, he's probably going to hit it foul anyways. Good piece of pitching.
A deep shot to left center field. It could be to the warning track, and it is. A long, heart-stopping fly ball to end the inning. A big inning. 9 players have come to the plate. 3 runs have come across on 2 hits. No errors, and 3 men left aboard. We go to the top of the 3rd. The Bulldogs need some catching up to do. The broadcast rights to this program have been granted to Sports Channel by the Illinois High School Association. Any rebroadcast or other account of this program without the express written consent of Sports Channel and the IHSA is strictly prohibited. It's a no-no, in other words. We go to the top of the 3rd. Althoff with a 3-run second, lead by 2 against the Harrisburg Bulldogs. Leading off in the top of the 3rd will be Chris Lucas, and you know he's got some making up to do. He really has got to be one hungry hitter right now. He reached on an error his last time up, but scored one of the 2 runs in the top of the 1st. A shot over the shortstop's head, a clean single in the 1st. So Lucas takes out his frustrations from the mound at the plate for a base hit to open the 3rd for Harrisburg.
That's an important hit for Lucas, just from the standpoint that he didn't take his pitching up to bat with him, and that's a good sign.
So with Lucas over at first base, that'll bring up Josh Banks, the left fielder. Banks Cade in his first at-bat. Up the middle, off the handle. They will get 1 at 2, but cannot double up Josh Banks. So Banks really got caught on the fist on that inside fastball. And the force out at second, 1 away here with Banks over at first.
Lucas did a nice job of breaking up the double play portion of that. Kept his team alive.
So here's John Cannon. Cannon had that big single in the 1st inning. Inside, and Myatt, the catcher, keeps it out in front of him. That was that shot that Cannon hit, literally a rocket toward the pitcher's mound that was officially scored as a hit. He was left-stranded, however.
been impressed with both these catchers, Joe. Both do an outstanding job of blocking pitches down in the dirt. Sometimes that's tough to teach a high school catcher.
Myatt has been a busy man behind home plate today, but he's not afraid to get his nose dirty. That's why he is in there. Just missing outside. In fact, Coach Althoff told us about the Belleville catcher, that he is one of the better defensive catchers in the St. Louis area. He moves very well behind the plate with catch. He likes to just play catch with anybody, anytime. That's the kind of kid he is, and obviously we've shown he doesn't mind getting parts of his jersey and his equipment dirty. He gets right down in the dirt.
The better catchers take pride in that.
Myatt is one of them. The 3-0 count, and there he holds the pitch on the outside corner for a called strike one. Jimmy Stiebel, the junior right-hander, 8-2 coming in. With a runner at first, one out. And again, that fastball just sneaks in on the outside corner of the plate to the left-hand hitting John Cannon.
Stiebel's definitely painting the black side of the plate there.
Checking the runner at first and the delivery. There goes the runner, popped up out of play behind us. And so Josh Banks will head back over to first base. Got a good jump on that last pitch.
Harrisburg running a little bit, 2 runs down. Coach Thompson decided to be very aggressive. There he goes again.
And fouled off the plate right up at the head of the hitter, John Cannon. Fortunately, catching mostly helmet. Looks okay to me, Coach.
Looks fine. Little wake-up call. You gotta love the resiliency of these little high school players. Coming back, battling.
Both these two teams have chased leads this year and have come back. A high, deep fly ball to right center. Stovall now comes into shallow right center, makes the catch for out number 2 in the top of the third. Back over to first goes Banks, and back to the dugout goes Cannon. That ball really got up there, but I think you saw what the wind has done to it. I mean, that was a legitimate deep fly ball to right center, but that wind blew it back where Stovall really had to come in rather than go back for it.
The wind will definitely play havoc on the fly balls, especially blowing in from that direction.
Here's senior Shannon Ryder, another one of the many football standouts in Harrisburg. Ryder struck out to end the first. In fact, Coach Jay Thompson told us, if you play ball in Harrisburg, you play football. A lot of football players in both uniforms today. Belleville Althoff, of course, the state 3A football champions the last 2 years in a row. Harrisburg has had some outstanding football teams in that very difficult South 7 conference. You know, we talk about where these teams came from in the top of the show. We showed you the teams they beat. Boy, you look at their schedules and the teams they played. Pitch out, but the runner was not going. I mean, you talk about a Harrisburg team that's got to go through the difficult South 7 against teams like Benton and Marion, Carbondale, Murfreesboro, and West Frankfort, a team that they did beat in the playoffs. And then you got a team like Althoff, who's an independent. They've got to make their own schedule, and they've got to play some of the best teams in the St. Louis area, including the AA champion Edwardsville. Chip foul right side out of play. The runner was going on that pitch, and back over to first again goes Josh Banks, who's getting in his laps early.
I'm getting back to what you were talking about, Joe. They play some very fine schedules, but those are the type of schedules you have to play when you get into this type of series. That way you see good pitching, you see good hitting, and nothing comes as a surprise to you as the season progresses.
Harrisburg center fielder Shannon Ryder at the plate. Leading off is Josh Banks. The delivery is outside for ball 2.
Expect Banks to be going on this pitch. He's had quite a few starts already towards second.
And a shot cleanly hit. No, the shortstop will catch up to it. The ball had backspin and began to die, and shortstop Tim Sainlin made the catch to end the inning. In the top of the 3rd, no runs, a hit for Harrisburg, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. The Crusaders come up to defend their 2-run lead. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Althoff coming up with a 2-run lead, and Tim Reiling will lead it off. Reiling led off the 2nd inning with a hard single and scored moments later on a ground out by Brian Berryman after Gula had doubled into the corner. This one back toward us. Don't worry, Bill. I'm going to get out of the way and let you catch it.
I thought you were the defensive player of this group. Reiling hit the ball hard last time up.
And this time he gets a little closer to us, and a one-handed stab by a man in the fan.
Got to get your fishing net out.
Only certain broadcasters need fishing nets.
Was that right?
Sure, I got these hands.
You got those hands?
Oh, yeah.
Right here now, Timmy.
The 0-2 delivery to Reiling, and he hits this one off the handle to the 3rd baseman. Pushes the throw across the diamond, and down on the 5-3 put out is Tim Reiling. Brent King with the play over at 3rd base.
That's a tougher play than look. 3rd baseman had to charge the ball and throw off balance in order to get it there in time.
So here's Jim Stiebel, the junior, 3-sport athlete. They make it real. Check that. Here is Gula. Chris Gula is the hitter. He had the big double deep down the right field line his last time up.
Hey, Riley.
Reiling was held at 3rd and then later scored on a force out. 2-0, the call by home plate umpire Bill LeMonnier. The other umpires today at first base, Charles Schaefer of Chicago. Second is Stephen DeRabuse of Winona. And umpiring 3rd base is Bill Osipka of Lansing. Down the left field line is Bill Fabrizio of Wheaton, and down the right field line, Richard Bitterman of Elmhurst. There's LeMonnier out of the Will County area, and our umpires. And remember, the umpires are here for a reason, too. This is an honor for an umpire to be at this tournament. They are selected by the IHSA and the Umpire Association in Illinois. So, like the players and coaches who are honored by their presence here at Springfield for the finals, so are people like Bill LeMonnier.
We certainly see some of the state's finest officials here. And these gentlemen, as you said, worked very hard to get here, and rather prestigious for them.
So at the walk to Gula, here's Jim Stiebel.
Right here, you're seeing a perfect example of why the pitcher has to work ahead of the hitters. It gets to the point where if you're not ahead, you have to throw pitches that they know are coming.
There's a called strike.
When you take the guesswork out of that part of it, it increases your batting average about 75 points.
Stiebel struck out his last time up, although he faced a different pitcher. Last time he faced Lucas. On the mound now is Brandon France. Tried to bunt. The runner goes. Here's the throw, and he's in standing up with a stolen base. Stolen base for Chris Gula. One out here on the top of the, the bottom of the 3rd. And he got a good jump on this one, Bill.
Yes, he did. You can see as soon as the knee of the left-handed pitcher came up, he was off and running. and it appeared that the hitter bunted right through the ball. Went in standing up.
Pagula over at second with a healthy lead. The 1-2 delivery. And a shot hit to center, but underneath it will be the Bulldog center fielder, Shannon Ryder. And he rides that ball into the infield. In a hurry, Gula stays at second. Thibault gave it a ride, but Ryder was right there to pull it down. And again, the wind blowing in, pushing that ball down. The center fielder making a good play. That wind is coming directly in from center field and swaying just a bit toward the third base line. Center fielders are going to have lots of time to get under fly balls today. Here's Brian Merriman, the senior out of Cathedral Junior High School, also a basketball player. In fact, Merriman will be attending Knox College. Will play basketball there and will work toward receiving a degree in economics. Boy, did he pick the right subject, huh?
Yes, he did.
The 0-1 delivery. A shot hit to the shortstop. Tried to backhand it. Gurla was possibly in his way, but was not hit by the ball. And a base hit, an infield base hit for Merriman.
I think that shortstop was... Here you can see the shortstop was temporarily blinded by the runner, and then all of a sudden the ball was up in on him. That's a tough play for a shortstop to make. He did the smart thing, though, Joe, by holding the ball and just checking the runner back and giving it up on it.
Fourth hit of the night tonight for the Althoff Ball Club, and here now is Tim Sainlin. Sainlin, the shortstop, has walked, stolen a base, and scored in the second, and looked at a strike 3 in the first. Runners on the corner with 2 outs. A chopper back to the second baseman. He goes to first for the throw, and Harrisburg is out of the inning. But in the third, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, too many left. They go to the top half of the 4th inning, and it's still Harrisburg chasing Belleville Althoff. We go to the top half of the 4th inning of play. Belleville Althoff leading Harrisburg by 2. Harrisburg started off with 2 in the top half of the first, but Althoff came back with 1 in the bottom of the first and 3 in the bottom of the second for their 2-run lead. Leading off for the Bulldogs will be their number 7 hitter in the order, Brandon Franz, who started the game in right field and moved on to the pitcher's mound in relief of starter Chris Lucas in the second. A shot hit into center, and again the wind will just lay it there for Stovall for out number 1. Franz flies out to center field for the first out in the top of the 4th. Here's Brent King. Reached on an error by the third baseman his last time up. Advanced to second on a wild pitch and was left stranded back on the second. Foul ball right side will drift out of play. King is just a junior as we look at Soje getting the ball back into play. Umpire says, Rick, you go on back and I'll take care of this one. He does. Brett King steps back in. King, a junior, has been solid defensively. Talked about his clutch hits. Good eye at the plate. Found a way to get on last time. Chops this one foul again to the right side and out of play. Jay Thompson showing he's still got it. Puts the ball back in.
You can see that Stiebel is settling down into his game a little bit more now. The first inning jitters are gone and settle down a little bit.
The 0-2 delivery, he went to swing at it for strike 3. So Stiebel gets another K to his credit. His 5th strikeout of the game. This is a young man that was not smiling in the first, but he's gotten it back a little bit. The smile as well as the fastball.
It's a good strikeout pitch there. High in the strike zone, looks like a softball coming in.
Brian Banks walked his last time up, the number 9 hitter in the Harrisburg order, and he looks at a ball outside, ball 1. Banks, another 3-sport athlete at 5'10", 175 pounds, played football and basketball. In fact, he was all conference in football for Harrisburg. Of course, at 5'10", 175, I would imagine that his heart was bigger than his biceps.
Stiebel wants to stay away from a walk here.
Just low, and Brian Banks walks for the 2nd time in the game.
Second baseman number 9, John Davis.
Stiebel gives up his 2nd walk of the game, and that will go to the top of the order for John Davis. Davis, a junior out of Harrisburg Junior High School.
Come on,
A member of the National Honor Society at Harrisburg. And a called strike 1 at the knees. They call him Skeeter. John Skeeter Davis. We'll see how pesky he is here with 2 outs and a runner at first and an 0-1 count. Wanted to go after that, but backed off in time, and the first base umpire agrees with home plate Bill Lemonier. First base umpire Charles Schaefer says, didn't come around.
No, I don't think he went on that one either.
A shot into the gap in right center. This will fall in for a base hit. Stovall quickly gets it back into the infield, but John Davis gets his first hit of the game and the 4th hit of the game for the Bulldogs, putting runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Stovall showed his speed there. Got to that ball very quickly. That was a shot to the gap. He got there and cut it off.
Banks will re-enter.
15 for 5. Pinch run.
Some changes being made down at home plate, so let's listen in to Jay Thompson. I guess he got it out in time. A pinch runner coming into the ball game for Harrisburg. Chad Brown, number 15, will come in to pinch run for Brian Banks. Brown stretching it out a little bit.
Be ready. Be ready.
You heard Coach Thompson in the background, just trying to make sure Brown is ready. Chris Healy is. Had a single and scored a run back in the first. Outside for ball 1. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. The Bulldogs trailing by 2. Healy, the hitter, is another National Honor Society member. He was all conference and all area. Football, baseball, standout. They play baseball in college and become an accountant.
A lot of accountants on this team.
I was just going to say that. Well, when the salaries dominate the headlines over the batting averages, I guess you can understand why there are accountants and lawyers.
That's right.
I'll tell you, I really do admire, though, the many high school kids I come in contact with, the various sports that I cover over the year, that really have a grip on the direction they're taking themselves following high school.
That's true. Most of the high schools around the state this time of year are sending the kids, and they already have a predetermination of what they're going to do in a direction. And I think that speaks a lot for the counselors at the school the programs that are available.
Healy has tasted the championship trophy. He was on the team in uniform in the dugout for Harrisburg 2 years ago when they captured the Class AA baseball title.
Coach Thompson has to be thinking right now how nice it would be to see Healy with that .427 batting average not going into the gap again.
Just inside, ball 3.
Breaking ball just missed on the inside.
Both teams have won 7 games in a row. Popped it up right side. Shallow right, coming hard is the right fielder, and he makes the catch. Right fielder Brian Merriman comes in hard and makes that catch. He had the battle to win, but he won the battle. In the inning, no runs in the top of the 4th. 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left aboard. They go to the bottom half of the 4th. Still 4-2 Althoff. Setting slowly in the west, the beautiful sunshine over central Illinois and overlooking the beautiful ballpark of Robin Roberts Field at Lanphier Park in Springfield, Illinois, the site of the boys Class A baseball championships. As we go to the bottom of the 4th, Belleville Althoff coming up and protecting a 2-run lead. The first hitter will be Mark Schrand, and he takes a called strike 1.
This could be a big inning for France. If he can get through this part of the lineup unscathed, that may have that switch in that momentum that we talked about earlier.
Schrand has made himself busy today, being on base twice already. Was the MVP in the Fairview Heights Legion tournament. You know, you look at Mark Schrand, the hitter, as you see our score. Physically, he's got the makeup of a guy like a Lenny Dykstra. Plays like him. Comebacker to the mound, unable to hold on to it, but the second baseman comes over and cannot get it to first in time. Lucas, the first baseman, isn't pleased with the call. The call will stand, but a great effort by the second baseman for Harrisburg.
Here you see the ball hit hard up the middle. The pitcher does a nice job slowing the ball down. Second baseman did his best to get to the ball and makes a nice hard throw, but just missed.
John Davis over at second base, and that'll bring up Deron Stovall.
Batting right-handed this time against left-handed France.
Not only is he a switch hitter, great story about Deron Stovall. In their regular season finale, a doubleheader sweep of Roxana. There goes the runner. I'll get back to that story. The throw down, nobody covering. Finally, second baseman Davis comes over, but a stolen base for the runner, Mark Schrand.
Here you can see the runner getting a good jump. Again, as soon as the left knee came up, the runner was gone. Looked like a little mix-up in coverage as to who was supposed to be there.
Stovall hits one deep to center, but now it comes in. Caught by the center fielder in shallow center for out number 2 in the bottom of the 4th. So Stovall 0 for 1 officially. He's walked twice, stranded both times, and now goes back after getting his first contact in fair territory, and that'll bring up Matt Gomrick. Gomrick hits the ball hard to the shortstop, takes a mean hop, hurried throw, and they get Gomrick at first base. Moving over to third is Schrand, and Gomrick almost got a break as the ball just hit hard off the outside lip of the infield, challenging the shortstop, Chris Healy, but Healy made a good play of it.
Yes, he did. He stayed right with the ball. He even looked the runner, see the runner where he was going, and still threw the runner out to first base.
That'll bring up Rich Sauger, the Stork. Two outs with a runner at third and a called strike on the outside corner. Sauger has grounded out twice, both inning-ending plays. Once in the first and again in the second. Up high and outside. Ball one, 1-1. Brandon France on the mound in relief of Chris Lucas, who went an inning and a third. Actually, an inning and 2/3. The southpaw delivers the 2-1 count, and a shot hit down the left field line, but foul. And that got out of here in a hurry.
Crochet is a menacing-looking figure up there at the bat.
He probably will fit in very well at the University of Notre Dame, where he'll play football and baseball.
What are the stats on him again? How tall is he?
6'6", 215 pounds. They don't allow too many athletes to go to sports at Notre Dame. One of them that I can think of, all-state catcher from Providence New Lenox High School, Pete Bursich, who has played football and baseball for Notre Dame as a freshman last year. And Sauger draws a base on balls. So that'll put runners on the corners. And will bring the second baseman to the plate, Tim Riling, to face Brandon France. Riling has singled and ground out. Senior out of Wolf Branch Junior High School. Like many of the Althoff players, many who played on the state championship teams of the last 2 years. But Riling was unique. He also played soccer during the fall. And he hits this one to shadow left, but it will drift out of play and just beyond the outer limits of the grandstands here.
A soccer player.
In fact, Tim Riling, the hitter, placed on the honor roll at Belleville Althoff all 4 years of high school. At Althoff, that is quite an honor itself. An accounting major, business minor. TR hopes to stay home. He plans on attending a Southern Illinois or St. Louis area college to play soccer. There goes the runner on a big jump, and the throw goes into center field. Sauger was down in the dirt and literally caught the Harrisburg pitcher asleep. And that brings Jay Thompson out of the dugout, and maybe we can go down and talk to Jay. I think he has a beef with the umpire.
You're in my face. Well, you get away from this. You didn't think he stepped off.
No, he did not step off.
How many more we need?
He did not step off.
Jay now trying to bring his infield together, and he wants to talk to an umpire.
I'm going to take a charge, yeah. I'm going to take a charge here. Okay.
So Jay
take a
Thompson
conference here.
letting the umpire know this is an official visit.
4 umpires on the infield, and my buddy is the only guy that saw it. Tough break. Hey, listen, tough break. We got to keep this guy from scoring. All right, I want you to relax, no problem. This guy's clueless. He, you know, I just don't want to say anything else about that. But relax, relax, relax. Okay, we just got to throw strikes right here. Okay.
Defense made a good play. We're out of it. I have nothing first.
Yeah, we threw that ball in the center field anyway, didn't we? What the hell's going on that? You didn't see that guy? The guy's about Andre the Giant's cousin or something. He takes off running. I think we could see him when he takes off. All right?
Hey.
Okay, we got it.
1-3-1 left.
Yeah.
1-3.
Do you think he stepped off? I know you can't answer that question.
Well, with the big jump by Soje, the throw went into center. The run scores. And easily coming in from third base was Schran to make it a 5-2 ball game.
What Belleville's trying to do there is try to get the runner in a rundown initially and try to score the run that way. And it worked better than what they'd hoped for.
Chopper back to the mound. The pitcher, Franz, will handle it and throws the runner out at first base. So they took the coach serious. They got this guy, but a run does score on one hit. No errors and a man left aboard. We go to the top of the fifth, and Jay Thompson's Harrisburg Bulldogs are chasing three. We go to the top of the fifth, and the Bulldogs are chasing three, which brings the crowd on their feet from the first baseline side behind the Bulldog dugout. They want this Bulldogs to start showing their collar here in the top of the fifth, and they'll have the number 3, 4, and 5 hitters to lead off this inning, and that's where you get your power from. So we'll find out what the Bulldogs are made of, and I think you brought up the point earlier, Coach. They've got to have a big inning.
This is the make it or break it inning, as I see it, for Harrisburg with this part of the lineup coming up. They don't have to get all three right now, but if they could get something going, get 1 or 2, get back in the ball game a little bit. But now's a very important time for them.
Well, here's Chris Lucas. Started on the mound, moved over to first base when the change was made in the second. And last time up, Lucas had a sharp single, although was forced out at second base. Lucas, a senior out of Westside Elementary Junior High, pops this one in play. Foul territory in front of the dugout and caught on the rebound by Soje. It looked like Soje was going to lose that out of his scoop, but he kept scooping and he came up with the cone.
Great concentration. You see the ball up high, he grabs it once, bobbles it, reaches out that long first baseman's glove, and has a snow cone.
Wants to let everybody know about it. It's a great play by Rick Soje. Excellent concentration. That'll bring Josh Banks to the plate. He has reached on a fielder's choice and struck out. They call Josh the trigger. He played football and has been a catalyst in the lineup. Unfortunately, he has been in a tournament slump here in Springfield, looking for his first base hit in the finals. So the cleanup hitter for Harrisburg without a hit, and he pops this one up into shallow center. Second baseman comes over, and Josh Banks is 0 for 10.
Steve was starting to work inside. 2 in a row off the hands, and you saw what the result was, 2 pop-ups.
So Jimmy Stiebel, the junior right-hander, who had control problems in the first inning, has settled down. Here's John Cannon. And a balk has been called by the first base umpire. Nobody on. And the first baseman, Soje, apparently went down to tie his shoe. It wasn't a balk, excuse me. It was a timeout by Charles Schaefer, the first base umpire. My correction. Outside and low for ball 1. 1-0 to John Cannon, who's been a big stud for them on the mound this year. He's also helped out a great deal at the plate.
Cannon's one of their leading RBI people.
.25 RBIs in the year for Cannon, batting .307. Got 4 homers, so he does have power. And he hits a hard one to the second baseman, who moves over for the play. Tim Riley throws over to Sauget, and it's a 1-2-3 fifth for the Bulldogs. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. They go to the bottom of the fifth. And Harrisburg still chasing 3. Bottom of the order coming up for Althoff. Leading off the bottom of the fifth will be DH Chris Gula. He has reached base twice today for Belleville Althoff, who continued to lead here 5-2 over the Harrisburg Bulldogs. Gula has scored following a double back in the second, walked and stole a base, and was left stranded in the third. Joe Passion here along with Bill Zeman, the head baseball coach and athletic director at Roanoke Benson High School, where his baseball team came to the Class A finals 3 years in the 80s, as Gula grounds out to first base for the first out.
Number 25.
So Gula goes down on a ground out, and that'll bring Jim Stiebel, the pitcher, to the plate. So your ball club got to the regional semifinals this year.
Yes, we did. We got beat 2-0 in the semifinals. Just didn't put it together on the night we needed to.
So how's your ball club going to look next year at Roanoke?
Well, I'm pretty enthused about the future. We've got a good young nucleus, and we're pretty young this year. And hopefully, pretty soon we'll be back.
Well, we should make mention that Bill Zeman is 1 coaching victory away from the magic number 300. I know you would have liked to have gotten into the regional final, gotten over that hump. A shot hit into left field. Jim Stiebel hit a bullet past the shortstop into left field and is out with a base hit. The ball gets away. Stiebel is up at second.
That was a hard hit ball.
A single and an error on the left fielder advances Stiebel over to second base.
Batting ninth in the Crusaders order, right fielder, number 14, Brian Merriman.
You can see the barrel of the bat get out there, shot past the shortstop. He had all he could do just to get to it. Hard hit baseball.
It was an errant throw that came in, and Stiebel goes into the dugout, and number 10, Andy Schumacher, a junior outfielder, steps in as a pinch runner. Schumacher at 5'6", 130 pounds. So 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth, and that'll bring Brian Merriman to the plate. Squares away for the bunt out in front of the plate. Goes right to first base for the sacrifice bunt, pushing the runner, Schumacher, over to third base. And so the job has been done by Merriman on the sacrifice bunt.
A lot of times those bunts like that, a very important part of the ball game, getting in there, getting your job done. Merriman did exactly what was expected of him.
So Tim Sainlin, who has reached base and scored back in the second, struck out and ground out in his other 2 at-bats, and Harrisburg catcher Brian Banks wants to go out and talk with his pitcher, Brandon France. While we have a moment, maybe we can get an opportunity to take a look at the first base coaching box for Belleville Althoff, where athletic director Glenn Shout is out there. Glenn is the storied head football coach of the Crusaders football program, which has won the last 2 football 3A state championships in a row. In fact, they won a state championship back in 1980 as well. So he's athletic director, football coach, and assistant varsity baseball coach. I was mentioning to Coach Al Papi prior to the game, Glenn's a lot more relaxed in a baseball uniform than he was at Hancock Stadium in Bloomington Normal last fall. Very polite, but a very intense and successfully so football coach.
You never know it as he was standing there in first base box, not would you?
I think he was just giving the ribs to Popey when we kept asking him to put the hat up above the sunshine on his forehead.
Hey, now you're walking tender waters there.
Oh, come on, Zeman. You can handle that.
That's what that baseball coaching does to you.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Maybe it was a good idea of mine to stay out of coaching.
That's right. A good full head of hair you got there.
A pop-up left side with 2 outs. The runner will come in and pop by the pitcher, Franz, to end the inning. So Sandlin popped out to the pitcher to end the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, an error, and a man left on. They go to the top of the 6th, and the Bulldogs are still chasing a trade. We go to the top of the 6th. Belleville Althoff out in the field, and they lead by 3. And coming up will be the bottom portion of the order for the Bulldogs of Harrisburg. Shannon Ryder, Brandon France, and Brent King will come up for the Bulldogs. Ryder is struck out and lined out hard to the shortstop in his 2 previous at-bats. Ball 1. Shannon, who is not only a football player, but I'll tell you, any kid whose favorite class is calculus has got to be a doctor. And Ryder will be attending the University of Illinois as a pre-med student. National Honor Society member, state scholar, and appropriately so, his nickname, Easy.
Easy.
Easy Ryder. Wait till he gets in med school.
Mm-hmm.
Up high, chin music for ball 3. Stiebel, who had a lot of problems, Stiebel rather, who had problems in the 1st inning. The boy, he has settled down ever since. We look at his motion, showing a lot of confidence here in the latter innings. Called strike 1. Stiebel gave up 2 runs, 1 hit, and had 2 errors himself back in the 1st. And popped up foul behind us, and well, Bill, it almost hit your wife, Melinda. And for a minute there, I thought she was going to go after it with 1 hand.
She tried. I told her to use both hands. We can practice that, Joe.
In the backyard. A full count. And this shot into center field, but Stovall chases back after it, and that's why they call Dayron breeze. He just breezed out to that ball and stole a line shot away from Shannon Ryder.
Coach Poppy has to feel pretty happy when he sees the ball go up in the air to that mid part of the ballpark.
So that'll bring up Brandon France, the junior left-handed pitcher and outfielder. France, who played football in the fall, wrestled in the winter, and hits a shot in the spring, right up the middle for a base hit. Franz gets his first base hit of the game and puts a runner aboard for Harrisburg in the top of the 6th. Franz just jumped on that fastball and did not even flinch. The pitcher flinched. He had to get out of the way of that in a hurry.
That's 2 hard hit balls in a row by Harrisburg. 3rd time through the lineup. Maybe Harrisburg can get something going here.
Harrisburg batting .318 as a team this season. And here is Brent Burger King. He's a junior, 3-sport athlete, football and basketball. No, I'm serious, folks. That's his nickname, Burger.
I had to look at the card myself there. I don't know if you made that up.
Wanted the square for the bunt. It was up high, got away from it for a ball. 1-1. Well, King at 5'9", 165, obviously doesn't have cheese on his. Swings and misses for strike 2.
Nice job, Jimmy. Pull away here.
When King goes to college, he is going to be majoring in pharmacy. He wants to become a pharmacist.
Both of these coaches are working pretty intelligent individuals.
Pharmacists, lawyers, pre-med students,
accountants.
Catcher and pitcher have a little chat out on the mound as Steve-O backs off. Just wanted to get some signals straight with his catcher, Tim Myatt. Now, we talked about the catcher Myatt earlier. We'll give you a little funny story about him in a minute. The 1-2 delivery just misses. Myatt throws off the mask. Tim Myatt, who is a senior out of St. Augustine Junior High School. The Althoff catcher, there he is. They call him Muggsy. Now, we talked about how he not only gets his dirt in baseball, well, he recovered a fumble on the goal line that literally wrapped up the state football championship game. That's why they call him Muggsy. Gets his mug right in the play. The 2-2 delivery, a shot to the third baseman, stays in front of it over to 2 for 1, and they're unable to double it up. But the Althoff third baseman, Matt Gomrich, who has played some stellar ball at third base, and the fielder's choice for the Burger Man.
Here's a hard hit ground ball to third baseman. Does a nice job staying in front of it. Gets the throw over to second, and then the runner does a nice job keeping the relay throw from being made.
That'll bring Brian Banks to the plate. Banks has been on base twice, both free passes. All-conference football player. Played basketball in the winter as well. And he was part of the 1989 AA State Baseball Championship. Two outs, runner at first. Curveball drops inside for ball 1. When Banks is not playing football, basketball, or baseball, he is busy outside. He lifts a lot of weights, fishes, and is into scuba diving. In fact, you're quite a fisherman. Last year's tournament, you left literally right after the game and went off on a lengthy fishing trip. You never did tell me. Did you hook anything?
One or two.
So how big were they?
Very.
Outside. Well, speaking of fishermen, I want to say hello to my father, George Passion, who was watching Sports Channel via satellite from his home in North Fork, Arkansas, right on the White River. My dad and mom were just had a couple of tough weeks. My dad had successful quadruple bypass surgery. And all he talks about is wanting to get back out in the boat on the river and fish.
Great way to spend the time.
Glad you're doing well, folks. The fish will be out there. A lot of white trout out in the white rivers of north central Arkansas. Boy, that's God's country out there.
I bet it's beautiful.
2's across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and it hits the batter. Hit by a pitch, and so Banks gets another freebie. This one cost him a little bit, but he still got the same way he got to first base as Steve-O talks it over with his catcher. Apparently, one just got away. Not like the fish that you and my dad usually go out after.
Never miss one, Joe. Never miss one.
So runners now in first and second for Harrisburg. With 2 outs, and the leadoff hitter, John Davis, steps in. Singled his last at-bat in the 4th. And this one also inside, just missing.
Steve-O consistently works the hitters inside. Sometimes you're going to hit a batter like he did Banks, but makes it very tough for those hitters to get around on it.
And a hard shot by Davis, but into center, and Mr. Reliable goes back and catches the ball. So Stovall with the big running catch.
and not much John Davis can do about that. So in the 6th, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left aboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Althoff protecting a 3-run lead. We go to the top half, make that the bottom half of the 6th inning, and Althoff leading 5-2 over the Bulldogs of Harrisburg High School. 2 great coaches in this ball game. Jay Thompson, who went to Southeast Missouri, was an outstanding ball player himself.
We're down to 3 outs
for Harrisburg. And in the third base coach's box out of Quincy College, Al Fope.
Huh? Well, you got to go down there and help out because I'm going to need BJ to run possibly.
Both coaches wired for sound on this special Sports Channel presentation. And here in the bottom of the 6th, the number 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up to the plate for the Crusaders. Mark Schrand will lead it off. He has had 2 hits today. Scored twice. Schrand has been a busy man.
Been on base 3 times.
1-1 the count on Mark Schrand. Brandon France, the pitcher, gets a grip on the ball that he wants, takes a long look, and delivers, and off the handle, this may have eyes, and it drops in for a base hit. Mark Schrand on with a dying quail into right center, and he has gotten on base in 4 at-bats.
He's handcuffed on that pitch, and just, that's one nice thing about, about the aluminum bat. You can hit the ball off the handle and still get out to the outfield.
Third base hit of the day for Mark Schrand, and here's DeRon Stovall. Walked twice and flied out to center. I was beginning to tell the story about how Stovall was the winning pitcher in the opening game of a doubleheader in the regular season finale against Roxana, as he pops up high to right center, and the center fielder is there to make the play. Ryder with the play. Stovall, though, wanted to pitch in the second game, too. So he did. He started the second game as a pitcher, but threw with his right hand. He only went about a third of an inning, gave up 4 walks, but he finished the rest of the game playing second base and did not change his glove. He continued to throw from second base with his right hand and made 5 putouts. That is the kind of athlete DeRon Breeze Stovall is. And here is another great athlete, Matt Gomrich. That's a great story.
That is a great story.
There goes the runner and the throw. He's in with a great jump on the stolen base for Mark Schrand, his second theft of the game. Two steals today for Mark Schrand. Each time he has gotten on base, he has advanced to at least home, second, and third. He has been all over. Doesn't stay put. This one is in the alley,
in the gap,
and that will fall in for extra bases. Schrand will round second. He will score, and racing to third with a triple is Matt Gomrich. The crowd from Althoff on their feet, and Gomrich has an RBI triple, and it's a 6-2 Crusader lead.
Here you can see a low outside pitch. Gomrich does a nice job, goes the opposite way with it, gets the barrel of the bat out, into the gap, run scores, triple.
Schrand scores his the third time today that Schrand has touched home plate in his 4 at-bats, and that brings Jay Thompson, the head coach of Harrisburg, out of the dugout. Thompson, who is still on a wireless, and we'll go out and join in on this conversation on the hill.
You did an outstanding job. I'm going to shake your hand. You really pitched well. Good job. Let's go.
John Davis will come into the ball game, or excuse me, Cannon.
Yeah, we got to play in.
Will come into the ball game as Brandon France does his best, and he heads back out to the outfield, and John Cannon will come into the ball game. Cannon has seen some action in this tournament, and he'll see some more. He's 10-1 on the year in 14 games.
It goes now like 9-1.
9 goes to 1.
Yeah, 1 goes to 9.
1 goes to 9.
So you heard the changes. The 1 is the pitcher, Brandon France, who started in right, came into pitch, and now goes back out to right. And Cannon, who started at first, went to right, and now is on the mound. Chris Lucas started the ball game and is at first base. Here's the numbers on John Cannon.
Cannon has pitched 78 innings this season, 45 hits, 16 earned runs, 82 strikeouts in 78 innings, 35 walks. It's pretty impressive strikeouts to inning ratio. And I have to agree with Coach Thompson. I thought France did an excellent job coming in when he did, under tough circumstances. At that time, when he came into the ball game, Althoff had the lead, and he came in with runners on base and pitched himself out of an inning.
Coach,
there.
what could we have done different?
Did an excellent job.
Jay Thompson talking with his assistant coach in the dugout, and certainly his frustration showing. And now it's time for a new pitcher, John Cannon, to take over. And the first batter that he will face is the Stork. So the infield breaks up, and Rick Sauger will come up to the plate. The Stork, so far today, has walked and grounded out twice.
Might be a lift for Harrisburg if Cannon can get him out of this inning and leaving that runner stranded at third.
Sauger was all area, all St. Louis area, 2 years in a row in football. Was all state in basketball. And he's in the state championship game in baseball. 2 years in a row in football. Was all state in basketball. And he's in the state championship game in baseball. Need I say more? He goes the other way, a line drive shot, and the ball is thrown away. The second baseman made a great play. The throw will not come home, and another run scores. It is now a 7-2 Althoff lead.
Hard hit ball, second baseman did a nice job shifting over.
Sauger hit that ball hard, but that scores Gombrich from third base. The line drive shot by Sauger, picked off by the second baseman, Davis. He relaxed on the throw and threw it out. Reiling hits one deep to left center. The center fielder, Ryder, is there to make the catch, and that ends the inning. But again, the Crusaders come up with what could be 2 additional insurance runs on 2 hits. An error, and nobody left. We go to what could be the final half inning of this Class A state championship game. Althoff leading by 5. We go to the top of the 7th. The number 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up as the Bulldogs chase 5 in what could be the final inning for Coach Jay Thompson, who is 5-6 runs away from what could be the record-setting pace that he has been going on. Thompson, if he should come through and win this ball game along with his team, will become the first baseball coach to win state championships in both classes. And they start up on the right foot as Chris Healy bunts his way on to open the 7th.
That's a good play. Kind of break the ice a little bit. They need to have a big inning. Sometimes it takes something like that to get the momentum shifted your way.
If you want to know how serious Jay Thompson was taking this ball game as Chris Lucas steps in, he had his wife, Kirsty, and their twins, Kirk and Laura, stay at another hotel. He wanted to stay with the team and focus on the tournament. I'm sure that wasn't a slight to his family, but that has to be hectic with 4-year-old twins in one hotel room. Here comes Bill. And E1 on the righter.
Getting closer.
Lee Landers, the general manager of the Springfield Redbirds, looking over from the other way in disgust. I don't think he's going to recruit that journalist to let that one get by.
No, he should have had that ball.
Same thing that your wife Melinda did.
I know.
Didn't use two hands.
That's right.
There you go. Lucas, who has reached base twice today, fouls this one again back, and I don't think anyone's going to get this one except for the windshield of a bus outside. So quickly, 1-2 the count against Chris Lucas, who started the game on the mound, went an inning and 2/3. If the game ends in this favor of the Crusaders, Lucas would get the loss. The rally caps, though, are on along the dugout of Harrisburg High School on the first base line. What I love about amateur baseball, you never see this in pro baseball. The rally caps, of course, the caps are turned upside down.
It could look pretty nice that way.
Actually, they may want to keep them that way.
Yeah.
Kind of looks like the old White Sox caps. Fly ball, guess who's under it? Breeze. Daron Stovall, and back to second goes back to first goes Healy as Lucas pops out to center field. That'll bring Josh Banks to the plate. The trigger man has popped out, reached center fielder's choice and struck out.
After a rough first inning, Stiebel has really settled down and controlled the ball game.
Josh was voted the team MVP this season as a throwback over the first. And I think one of the reasons why I asked the kids about their favorite foods, Josh Banks was the only one who has something in common with Popeye.
Not spinach.
Spinach, can you believe that? A 17-year-old kid saying his favorite food is spinach. I don't know whether you want to like him for that or check his pulse.
A tough call.
A comebacker to the mound. The throw over to second for one. To one. Double play, and the championship goes to Belleville Althoff. A 6-4-3 double play spurts the celebration on the infield. Belleville Althoff defeats Harrisburg 7-2, and that's a winner.
What a way to end the ball game. A hard hit ball back to the pitcher. Turn the double play. Excellent defense.
In the top of the seventh for Harrisburg, no runs, a hit, no errors, but nobody left with the game-ending double play and the celebration for the Crusaders. One of the few high school teams in Illinois state history who have gone on to win state championships in football and baseball in the same year.
Remember, the championship game of the 1991 Boys State Baseball Tournament will be televised.
Congratulations to each other for Belleville Althoff, winning their 31st and most important game of the year.
June 8th at noon. Joe Passion and Bill Zeman will provide
The Crusaders, who have won now 8 in a row, 12 of their last 15, to conclude here with the state championship, and the trophy, which they so rightly deserve, will be coming up in a moment. As our post-game show from the Springfield baseball surroundings of Robin Roberts Field at Lanphier Park, we'll continue our coverage of the Class A baseball championships right after this timeout on Sports Channel. The Crusaders win their Class A baseball championship in dramatic fashion with this game-ending double play. Josh Banks at the plate, a comebacker to the mound. Stiebel turns over to second for one. The shortstop turns the double play. Sandlin over to the first baseman, Soje, and the celebration begins for Jimmy Stiebel and his Althoff teammates. And let's now join all the players down the field for our trophy presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the area at home plate for the presentation of the first and second place team and individual awards for the 1991 Boys Class A State Baseball Tournament. Assisting the presentation will be members of the Illinois High School Association Board of Directors and administrative staff. Presenting out medallions to the head coach of the second place team will be Mr. William Mitz of Monticello High School in Monticello, who serves the IHSA as secretary of the board.
What a great year it has been for
Coach
Jay Thompson in his
will now
10th year.
present
Take my hat off.
medallions to his team.
Congratulations. I appreciate it.
Now, please meet the Bulldogs of Harrisburg High School,
Okay.
And you just put them on there.
who finished the 1991 season in second place.
Jay
with a final
Thompson,
record
who
of
is
30
here,
wins and 6 losses.
getting medals,
The principal
the
of the school
championship
is
medals
Mr.
in
Gary
Class AA
Gordon.
just 2 years ago. The second
Assistant coach, number 7,
largest
Fred
Class
Farr.
A school in Illinois this year in terms of enrollment.
Batgirl.
They won the AA championship 2 years ago. They were the second smallest in enrollment.
There you go.
Players, number 1,
And even the Batgirl
Josh
deserves
Banks.
some credit
Congratulations.
for the work that they do out here as well.
Chris Healy.
Good job.
Number 3, Mike.
They had a fine season this year, and
Number 4,
they'll realize their accomplishment in a couple
number
days.
5, Brian Banks.
They captured the South 7 Conference title
Brent
with a
King.
12-2 record after going 20-9 last year.
Number 8, John Cannon. Number 9, John Davis.
Great job, bud.
Semi-final win over Driscoll 2-1.
Number 12,
A
Joe
quarterfinal
Beard.
win here, 10-1 over Lewistown.
Number 13, Chris
And then, of
Lucas.
course, the
job, big
sectional
Number
victories
15, Chad Brown.
over
Congratulations.
West Frankfort
Number
and
16,
Metropolis,
Shannon Ryder.
winning the El Dorado Regional
Trim
over
those ears down a little bit.
Carrier Mills, Stonefort, Carmi, and McLeansboro.
Number 18, Ron Boston.
They'd won 20 of their last 23 games, if you
Number
include this
19,
loss here today,
Ashley
Bill
Gott.
Seaman.
Bend over there,
And
big
that is
guy.
quite a credit.
Number 20,
The smiles will come later,
Yes,
but they'll be
they
worth
will.
it.
They will. It hurts now, but I'll tell you what, to make it here to start, which is an accomplishment, and as you say, when 20 games out of their last, what'd you say, 23? That's excellent
Thank you.
baseball.
Captains Healy, Lucas, and Banks. Get ready.
The captains that you just heard Jay Thompson call out were all on that 89 AA baseball championship team.
who has served the IHSA for 24 years.
Not many kids come home with 2 medals in their high school careers, much less in separate classes. And Al Foppy out of Quincy College.
Nice guy.
What a tremendous honor he is getting here.
Okay, thank you. Coach Poppy will now present the
His
award.
18th year as head coach. He was an assistant in golf for a
Sister
while.
Jan Wren.
He was the head basketball coach at Althoff for 4 years back in the late 70s until he won a regional championship in 1981. He retired from basketball. He said he's going out with a win. Well, he's sticking around, and there's 2 coaches who know state championships. Glenn Schaub, the head football coach who won the last 2 football state championships. He knows this routine.
You get one of these.
The Batgirls get the medal and the polite kiss from the coach.
Number 11, Duran Stovall.
A big hug for his big center fielder. He's got a big decision coming up for Daron Stovall, whether to go to the University of Arkansas and play baseball or to
Number 18,
accept an offer from the St. Louis Cardinals, who drafted Stovall in the 5th round of the recent amateur baseball draft.
number 22,
Some big decisions to be made in the next couple days.
number 23, Tom Usursa. Number 24, Matt Gomrick.
Got it done.
Number 25, Jim Stiebel.
Nice haircut.
Number 30, Tim
Belleville Althoff.
Seglin.
There you go.
A school of
Number 32,
future champions. That was the high school in which a young Belleville freshman
Ryan Middendorf.
first started playing competitive high school tennis.
Number 42,
Jimmy Connors,
Robert Hammond.
who later moved out to California, and of course his pro tennis career speaks for itself.
Number 46, Tim Myatt. And number 47, Rich Soche.
Kofi having some fun with his big kids. He told us before the game, Bill Zeman, we're going to have fun today.
Yes, he did.
Looks like a man that's having some fun.
Yes, he's quite an accomplishment. Happy man.
Getting his congratulations from Liz Althoff, who retiring after nearly 50 years of public service to the IHSA.
Now the championship trophy will be presented by Mr. Ashcroft. Will coach Al.
The second place trophy being presented to the Harrisburg Bulldogs.
Crusaders, please.
That trophy's going to look just as tall and proud in their trophy case, and the championship trophy of Class A baseball in Illinois in 1991 being presented by the players to their fans, champions in baseball this year. The Crusaders, who scored 7 runs on 8 hits, 3 errors, left 8 men aboard. The winning pitcher was junior right-hander Jimmy Stiebel. Belleville goes 31-7. The Bulldogs close their year at 30-6. We'll be back with more from Springfield, site of the Class A Baseball Championships, right after this timeout on Sports Channel. A 5-run victory here today for the Crusaders of Belleville Althoff out of that very difficult St. Louis area, and they came up against a very solid Harrisburg team, but pulled it out by 5, 7-2 in this Class A baseball championship. And Bill Zeman, I think what really was the key here is how Jimmy Stiebel, the starting pitcher who went all the way on the mound today for Althoff, got out of a very struggling first inning where he gave up 2 runs and 1 hit, gave up 2 errors himself, but came back to make a great game of it.
Yes, he did. He showed a lot of composure. He came back after a very rough start and a very rough beginning, settled down, kept the ball low, kept the ball inside, worked the hitters, and did an excellent job and won himself a big ball game.
He really didn't overpower anyone during the course of the game, and appropriately so. He's the man who started that comebacker, dramatic game-ending double play that won it for the Crusaders here today over the Bulldogs. We'd like to thank a lot of those who have helped us here from the Illinois High School Association, including Liz Althoff, who will be concluding his 50-year career this summer, David Fry, who will be taking over that chair, Jim Flynn, Don Robinson, Charlene Bremberg, and Ola Bundy, the Assistant Executive Secretaries. Our next game on Sports Channel will be the Class AA Baseball Championships, and that's coming up next. This game was produced and directed by Rick Godwin. The coordinating producer is Greg Bowman. Our executive producer, John Toohey. Remote facilities were provided by Trio Video. For Bill Zeman, I'm Joe Passion. Once again, the final score, Althoff over Harrisburg, 7-2. The proceeding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel. Stay tuned to Sports Channel for the Class AA Baseball Championships.